Hey everybody, Patty Ann here. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to create the embroidery or the applique pieces that you need using Silhouette Studio. So I went to adorableapplique.com and I just bought this fish one because I'm assuming or imagining maybe you're going to the beach and maybe you want to make each one of the children or each adult a little pouch in which they can carry money that they need or whatever they might be wanting, their earbuds, things like that. So I got this adorable little fish here and I'm going to show you how to use it. Right over here I'm going to download the PES version. That's what I happen to use for my machine. I have a Brother embroidery machine and I'm also going to download the JPEG version, which both of those will come right down here in the lower left hand corner, and I'll open them up in my Silhouette. Okay. As you can see, I have them both opened up. This is the one that was the PES version. Has all the little pieces, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. And this is the JPEG, so I can be reminded of what it looks like. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking the stitching files off of this. All I want are the cut files. So let's scroll way in so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see that there are files here, or there are pieces here that are stitching like a zigzag, right? A satin stitch. I'm going to drag those off. I don't need those, and I can actually just delete that. I'm going to drag off all of these ones that look like stitches. Okay, those are all stitching files. These are stitching files. Now there's probably two of this egg shape. I only need one of them, so I'm going to delete one of them. And there may or may not be two of these. Let's see what we got. There's just one of those. Okay, so that's all that we're going to be needing for this project. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scroll back out and I'm going to bring in the colors that I'm going to use. Ooh, I see some more stitching files. Look right there. Yeah, get rid of those. So the way I can tell is just go around this. Oh, there must be something else right here because you see how that makes two boxes? So I'm going to delete that. So what I can do is move this over and move this piece off the mat and just drag like this with a box. If it grabs anything else, just hit delete on my keyboard. Okay, so now I can't resize any of these things. You must know that you can never, ever, ever resize any of these things and have them work. So what I'm going to do now is bring in the two patterns of fabric that I'm going to use. Okay, so I took pictures of the two pieces of fabric I'm going to use, and I'm going to merge them, or I'm going to open them. So they should be, downloads. Oh, iCloud Photos, here they are. I wonder if I can... So I'll say OK to that one, file merge, and OK to this one. And this final one's one I'm just going to delete because I just wanted you to see that I had them set out on a piece of white paper, file merge, and I just used my camera and took a picture of them individually. Okay, what I'll do next with these individually is just click on one and I'll go to File, Library, Import to Library, and then that comes it comes back down to where my pictures were that I saved. So I'll say OK, and that should be imported, and there it is right there. It's imported into my library, but what I really want to do is I want to take this then and drag it into my patterns folder right there. So if you'll notice, if these are in order, let's see, sort by date modified. So there should be down at the very bottom. Oh, I got to go to my patterns. There they are. There's the two patterns in there. So see, I need to click on the patterns one. So what does that mean? I can do this now. I can go back to that image that I was working on and just kind of get an idea what this is going to look like. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll give me an idea. Okay, in order for this to work, I have to trace these first just to get the good idea. So let's go ahead and trace these first. Select the trace area. And I can increase this and say trace. Then I will get rid of this piece, delete, and get rid of this piece and delete. And now I should be able to click on these. Wait a minute, ungroup them. or at least the compound path. There we go. Click on one of these. Come over here now to the paint palette and to the patterns. And I should find down here in my own patterns, there it is, this one, or I could do this one. And that's just going to let me have an idea, whoopsie, of what it's going to look like, you know, with my little thing. So let's see, maybe I want to change that and make this one the green and this one the pink, so I can get an idea, just, you know, basically just a little bit of fun there to get an idea what it's going to look like with those two colors of patterns that I have. And I think it's going to be pretty cute. I think I'm going to do it this way with the pink as the tail. Okay, I'm just going to make sure there's just one piece and not an extra one behind each of these, because that'll kind of mess me up a little bit. But I'm going to put one on the upper left-hand corner and one in the upper right-hand corner. And what I'm going to do is get this green fabric and have a piece here in the upper left-hand corner and the pink fabric up in the upper right. The green fabric, I'm just kind of looking at what the sizes are. So this is almost 3.5 by almost 2. So I'll just make this like 5 by 3. A piece 5 by 3. And I'm going to write that down because I know me, between now and a moment from now I'm going to forget. So the green is going to be 5 by 3 and the pink is going to be, let's say, 2.5 by 2.5. Okay, so I'm going to get those pieces of fabric. I'll have them cut out and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, here are the two pieces that I cut out, and I've already applied the Heat and Bond Light to them. It's this Heat and Bond Light. And what it is, it's paper on one side, and on the other side it's gluey, like it's shiny. Okay, then what I do is this. I put my fabric pretty side down, and then I put the glue side down on top of the wrong side of my fabric. So I want to glue this piece to the wrong side of my fabric. So one of the things I will do is put a piece of parchment paper under it and on top of it, just to make sure if there's any bits of glue that show out in either place, they're not going to stick to my nice mat. Then you take your iron and press it for about 2 seconds. Just follow the manufacturer's instructions. After that, what you'll do, take this off, and then there will be that paper piece. I've already peeled it off. Let's pretend this is it, the backing. You'll peel this off, and what you'll be left with is the fabric with like a rubbery or a shiny coating to the back of it. Here's the other one, the fabric with a little bit of a rubbery, shiny coating to the back of it. Okay, the next thing I've done is I've simply put these with the pretty side of the fabric showing up onto my mat. I am going to go ahead and burnish this down. Just make sure that this is on here really well, no wrinkles. And then I'm going to go to send it to be cut. Okay, I've already cut one and it worked out perfectly, and now I want to do something a little bit different. This time I'm using a product that's called it's called, what is it called? It's called Light Steam a Seam. So I'm going to use this instead. So I'm putting this on here, and I have my iron down here on, let's see, and since it's Light Steam a Seam, I should have a little bit of steam in here, but I don't. So I'm just going to use it as is. And just go ahead and iron this on as I had done before. And I really should have some paper like this. So in case it goes all the way through. All right, there we go. Should be good. And notice it didn't go all the way to the edge, so I better cut that off so I don't accidentally use that part. Okay. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do now is just gently take this off of here. This is trash now, and this is sticky a bit. So I can use this, whoopsie, and I'll stick this to my mat. I did get out a new mat because I found that works a lot better if I have a better mat. So I'll stick this on here carefully so as not to get any wrinkles. All right, just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my portrait. You'll have to test your machine because your blade will be different. But for mine, when I have it on send, I have it at the fabric thin cotton print. I have the knife depth at 7. I have the force at 25, the speed at 3, and I just decided to make it go around twice because that seemed like that was the magic thing. So I'll just say send, and I'll show you how it turns out. Okay, I'm going to eject this and we'll check it out and see how well it did. Appears to have cut perfectly, just like that. Now I can use these pieces. And I'm going to go over now to my embroidery machine and show you that. Okay, here we are at my big boomer of an embroidery machine, but as you know, you don't have to have a big one like this. I'm just using a 4x4 hoop. And so I'm gonna go ahead and hoop 2 layers, 2 pieces of tearaway stabilizer, because I'm going to make this a freestanding thing. So there we go, hooped in there and tighten up the hoop. And hopefully you can see I've already loaded the design in over here. It's nice and taut. So I'm going to do this in black or dark fabric, I guess black, so you'll be able to see it. Here are the 2 pieces that I'll be using. Notice they're sticky because of the product that I used over there. I used the Steam-A-Seam 2 light. Okay, so we're going to start, and it's going to give us the placement stitches first for the tail. So I'm going to go ahead, my needle's already threaded, put my presser foot down and just hit go. And it's going to stitch out where to put those, or the tail. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this out now so I can see it more carefully. Get my tail and place it over top of here. It should be just a hair tiny bit bigger because you remember we added that tiny bit of an offset. Here we go. So that's tacking the fabric down in place now. And so what's really nice about using your silhouette to cut the pieces is ordinarily you have to go back with a pair of scissors like this and trim everything, and you bypass that now. Right now it's going to give me the placement for the body. Okay, so now I can take this out. Again, as long as I don't take this out of the hoop, we're fine. Take the body piece that I cut. Remember, it's sticky, and I'm going to stick it right down on here, making sure I match the lines perfectly. There we go. And I like to make sure it's stuck down. Okay, place it back in and put my presser foot down. Say go. Now, if you don't have an embroidery machine, I will have linked down below 2 places where you can get the smaller one that I also use, the PE 800. If you happen to get it off of Amazon, be very careful and watchful because it goes in price, and you can save like $100 or $150 if you watch the prices and grab it when it's lower. So I think a really good price for it would be between $700 and $800. And it's a perfect machine. It can do a larger hoop than this one. It can do the 5x7 hoop. Okay, now that part's done, so it's ready to start going around this with some zigzag. So I'll show you that next. And this is actually not just zigzag on this time. On this particular one, it's the satin stitch. I probably should have changed my color, but I left it at black so that you could see it pretty well. Now I'm super, super, super excited about the next video I'm doing for you. I'm going to combine two things, embroidery and something else. And it's so much fun. And in my mind, it's, again, game-changing. I hate that term, but I think it is kind of game-changing. So please, if you're not subscribed, subscribe, because you don't want to miss it, especially if you do embroidery. I have my machine set to slow. I could have sped it up. Now I've just sped up the speed, so we'll see if it's different now. Yes, you can hear the difference in the machine. If you decide to get an embroidery machine, I appreciate it when you use my links down below. Even when you're going back and checking the price, just use my link, please. I get a tiny commission, and it helps me to be able to buy the supplies so that I can make more things for you for demonstrations. Okay, now it's ready to do the mouth and the eyelashes. Okay, the machine's now telling me it's ready for a new color. I don't have to use the colors they recommend. I snip that there and drag this out like that. I saved these pieces for something. I'm going to put white in now. So I'm going to rethread my machine. Okay, it's going to say it's finished now, so I can remove it. And here it is. There will be some stitches that I'll want to cut off. Sometimes there are. All right, as I said, this is just tear away. So we just have to tear this away from the thing we made. It just pulls right off. Especially if you pull away from it. Don't pull into it, but pull away from it. So like, well there I had to pull in a little bit, but I'm pulling it this away from my embroidery. So this could actually be like a patch or something if you wanted to put, you know, something cute on a kid's backpack or a piece of clothing or something like that. Okay, and these little pieces, if I can't get those to tear, I can just come in with my scissors and snip that out. And anything else that I might like to snip off. Okay, and there it is, finished. A few more little threads that hang out sometimes. And I think it turned out super cute. Okay, I think these turned out really cute, and as I said, they could be nice patches, they could go on a purse, you could have made something larger, especially if you have the hoops that are 5x7. These are really super cute, but I'm going to give you a sneak peek at what I'm going to show you next, and that's this. Using Your Embroidery Machine along with sublimation. So this was my very first sample. I think I would change up how I did the elephant now, but you can get the idea. I found an image of a jungle that I sublimated on this baby onesie. So it's a baby onesie, and I put that on first, and then I used my silhouette software again to cut out this shape of the elephant so I didn't have all that extra trimming to do, and I did that. And then I also tried it on a towel. Okay, I put it on a towel. It says, "You are totally jawsome." I wish I had moved the shark in closer, so I think on the sample I'm going to show you, I'll move that in closer. I'll just do it on the other side of this towel. So this towel is from Johnson Plastic Plus, and I'll put that linked for you down below too. But I just think this super cute, combining both of these techniques is really awesome.